A body in a trunk, a Tesla with a superstar's name on it, and a scandal so dark, Hollywood can't look away. Police say 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was discovered dead in the back of a Tesla registered to breakout artist David, the same David who went from recording in his sister's closet to dominating TikTok playlists. Now the internet's buzzing. Was he involved? Was it a setup? Or is this the kind of headline that ends a career before it even begins? Oh, and the moment reporters asked investigators about his role, the response had everyone whispering, "Wait, what aren't they telling us?" Welcome back to A Sip of Drama, where gossip meets subpoenas and celebrities don't get to skip court. Today's story doesn't feel like a rumor. It feels like the opening scene of a crime thriller. A teenager gone, a pop star's Tesla tied to the case, and an entire fan base split between he's innocent and cancel him forever. Before we start unpacking this mess, do me a quick favor, hit that like button before TMZ does another exclusive, and subscribe so you don't miss the next scandal that makes Hollywood sweat. All right, legal tea first, drama second. Let's dig in. It started as a routine call. By the time officers popped open the Tesla's trunk, it was anything but routine. Inside, they found Celeste Rivas Hernandez, only 15 years old, a discovery so grim, even seasoned cops looked shaken. And then came the kicker. The Tesla wasn't random. It was registered to rising star David, not his manager, not a label, him. Think about the optics. His car, a body, no context. Hollywood scriptwriters would get laughed out of the room for pitching something this on the nose. But the question hung in the air, where was David when this went down? Stay with me, because his next move had fans convinced he knew more than he was letting on. For those who only know him vaguely, David's the Gen Z dream. A kid recording songs in his sister's closet becomes a global star. Here With Me, Romantic Homicide, tracks that turned heartbreak into Spotify gold. The story was authentic, relatable. Every music blog painted him as the introverted teen who made it big. But here's the cruel irony. When your brand is vulnerability and innocence, a scandal like this hits like a wrecking ball. Suddenly, his image as the soft-spoken kid next door collides with a headline ripped from Dateline. And it only got stranger when police gave their first public statement. When reporters pressed for answers, the LAPD confirmed the discovery. But that's all they gave. No cause of death, no timeline. And the real cliffhanger? No word on whether David was a suspect, a witness, or just the unlucky guy whose car was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Their wording was painfully vague. We are in communication with all relevant parties. Translation? He's definitely on their radar. That single line sent Twitter into meltdown. Conspiracy threads, Reddit deep dives, YouTube theories, everyone wanted to solve the case before police did. But if you thought vague press conferences were suspicious, wait until you hear what happened at his LA home. Within 48 hours, paparazzi noticed something weird. David was gone. Neighbors said the house went quiet overnight. No late-night studio runs, no cars pulling in or out, not even a delivery truck. One described it as like the place had been abandoned in a hurry. Another swore they saw movers at 2 a.m. loading boxes into a van. And when paparazzi camped outside, they filmed nothing. Blinds drawn. Silence. The driveway, usually dotted with luxury cars, sat completely empty. Now, Hollywood loves a vanishing act. Doja Cat once nuked her social media to escape drama. Armie Hammer famously vanished to the Cayman Islands during his scandal. And let's not forget Britney Spears' mysterious disappearances in the 2000s. But David's retreat? It feels different. Less celebrity reset, more strategic hideout. Why the sudden exit? Some speculate lawyers told him, shut it down, stay invisible. Others whisper, it's fear of the press. And of course, the darkest theory, he's hiding something. Either way, when a scandal hits and you disappear without explanation, the narrative writes itself. And sure enough, hashtags like #WhereIsDavid trended worldwide. TikToks claimed to spot him in airports. Reddit threads speculated on safe houses. Fans joked he was pulling a Houdini, but critics called it exactly what guilty people do. But disappearing was just the start, because behind the scenes, the music industry was already moving. Hollywood loves a success story, but it loves to abandon ship even faster. Sources whispered that his label was reviewing contracts. That's industry code for, if this tanks his reputation, we're out. Music festivals stopped returning calls. Spotify playlists that once boosted his songs suddenly didn't look so friendly. It's brutal but true. In entertainment, one bad headline can undo years of hype. And this wasn't just a bad headline. This was career obliterating. So the big question, if the industry is pulling back, will his fans follow? Online, it's chaos. One side, he's innocent until proven guilty. This is a setup they're cutting tearful TikToks, begging people not to cancel their favorite artist. The other side, I can't stream his songs knowing what I know now. Fans are deleting playlists, scrubbing him off their Spotify Wrapped. It's loyalty versus betrayal, and the fandom has turned into a digital courtroom. Every tweet a verdict, every meme a sentence. And just when the debate reached fever pitch, lawyers entered the chat. Here's where things get serious. The legal maze. Even if David never faces charges, the questions are piling up like court filings. Who last drove the Tesla? Who had keys? Was it loaned, rented, or stolen? Each answer spins a different narrative. From he's a victim of circumstance to he had control of the car when tragedy struck. And here's the kicker. He doesn't need to be guilty of murder to face fallout. If police find evidence he knew something and stayed quiet, that's obstruction. If someone in his circle was involved and he knew but didn't act, accessory, even negligence, not securing the car, could make him legally tangled. Hollywood has seen this before. Justin Bieber didn't throw the infamous egg attack on his neighbor's house, but because it happened under his roof, he got dragged into court. Chris Brown has repeatedly faced lawsuits over fights involving his entourage, even when he wasn't the one throwing punches. For celebs, guilt by proximity is still guilt in the eyes of the law. And worse, in the eyes of the public. So imagine if investigators pull a text, a call, or even a blurred piece of surveillance footage tying him even indirectly to Celeste's final hours. His legal team wouldn't just be playing defense, they'd be running damage control at DEFCON 1. This isn't just about what the law decides. It's about how long David can survive in the limbo between innocent pop star and name tied to a crime scene. And here's the cruel truth. In Hollywood, limbo is often the slowest death. Here's the broader debate. Should stars be punished for what happens around them? If David had nothing to do with Celeste's death, is it fair his career still tanks because it was his car? Or does fame mean you're automatically guilty by association? We've seen this movie before. Celebs caught up in scandals they didn't directly cause, and still paying the price. The court of public opinion doesn't wait for evidence. It passes judgment on headlines. And right now, the headlines are brutal. So where does this leave him? Investigators are combing through phone records, surveillance footage, and autopsy results, the kind of details that will either clear his name or cement his downfall. For now, he's in limbo. Too famous to disappear, too tainted to perform. And in Hollywood, limbo is the most dangerous place of all, because if the public moves on before the truth comes out, your career stays frozen forever. So, what do you think? Should David get the benefit of the doubt? Or is this the kind of scandal no one can bounce back from? Drop your verdict in the comments because this trial is already happening online. And hey, let's subscribe now. It's cheaper than hiring a lawyer. Until next time, keep sipping, keep scrolling, and maybe don't leave your Tesla unlocked.